Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a couple of old fockers, Dustin Hoffman and Barbara Streisand.
And the Oscar goes to?
No, the Oscar goes to...
Sorry.
Well, the problem is I forgot my glasses, but... Okay. I'm so happy to give you this again, Clint. $1 Million Baby.
Welcome back to The Better Half. I'm Bradley J. Halverson, and over in the red corner, she's my better half. It's Carly Corio. Hi, Carly.
Hi, Bradley.
And over in the blue corner, he's our $1 Million Baby. It's Eddy Gonzalez. Hi, Eddy.
Oh my God, what an honor to be here.
Our first guest on the pod.
First guest.
On the pod. Friends of the pod, right? FOPs.
Yes. Official friend of the pod, Eddy Gonzalez. Eddy, how did your life change? I'm going to say for the better when you met Brad and Carly.
Well, I met Carly first.
Booyah.
Before you even met her.
We have the longest friendship in this group, that's for sure.
Right now.
Okay, we met like the very next week.
And I think we just laugh a lot when we're together. I feel like my stomach always hurts from laughing when we're together.
It's a good problem to have.
And we don't get to see each other in person that much because I still live in Kansas. But when we do get to see each other, it's always fun.
And we talk, we FaceTime all three of us
Constantly,
regularly.
yeah.
It's funny that you bring up Kansas because we are recording live
from Manhattan, Kansas.
The little apple.
Happiness.
Yes, this is the site of where Carly and I met 10 years ago. Our friendship born, and this podcast is a result of this beautiful friendship. And Eddy was also there.
Yeah, Eddy was there. Eddy did kind of have a hand in us both coming here. By the way.
I interviewed both of you.
Yeah,
at some point,
me.
definitely interviewed both of you to see if you would get a job at K-State. Really, it was me giving you life or death.
Yeah, we wouldn't be us without Eddy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eddy.
I made you.
Thanks, Eddy. We are in Manhattan, and I think it's truly it's my happy place. It really is.
Yeah, and we know when this episode releases, it will be months later from when we're recording, but we just also officially announced the podcast, and we've already seen a lot of support, and we're already kind of semi-famous, and it's just really exciting to see. So
the sponsorships are rolling in.
BetterHelp, HelloFresh.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If the BetterHelp people call me one more time.
Yeah, let's cue our first commercial break in this episode. Okay, welcome back. Well, we're here today to talk about $1 Million Baby, directed by Clint Eastwood. It won Best Picture at the 77th Academy Awards, which took place on February 27th, 2005. Carly, please hit us in the face with your recap of this movie.
You got it,
Just
Bobs.
knock us out.
Here's a quick synopsis of the film before we get started with a deeper dive into the film. So, $1 Million Baby tells the story of Maggie Fitzgerald, a determined waitress from Missouri, who seeks out veteran boxing trainer Frankie Dunn to help her achieve her dream of becoming a professional boxer. Love.
When we were so excited to be talking about a film with a female lead, knowing like, wow, she's really going to persevere and have a happy ending and just live a wonderful long life. And this movie really delivered on all fronts.
I was so excited. I sat down and I said, let's see one woman win. It's time to see a woman come out on top.
Yeah.
They reached out to me and said, we're going to do $1 Million Baby for your episode. And I was the only one who's seen it before. And I was like, oh, what a bummer movie to watch. And they're like, we're so pumped for this one. Okay, good luck.
Yeah, Eddy, why did you so strongly request us that we do this movie? Why is it your favorite movie of all time?
When Brad said, do you want to do an episode with us? I was like, yes, but I need it to be from the last, 20 years. Yeah. I can't watch those old movies that you've been watching.
So fair.
What am I going to watch? Casablanca?
Please, Eddy. Some of our fans like that movie.
We just lost 20 listeners.
Yeah. We will cover Casablanca and respect it, fans.
I need color. I need sound.
And I think it was time for the pod to do a newer movie.
Yeah.
We had gone to most decades, but we hadn't gone before we were born. Yeah, so this is the first one where we were living beings, but at the time it was made.
Wow. And this movie is set in 2004, and it's our first movie we've covered that spends the most amount of time in the United States. All the other ones have been in Europe or Asia fighting wars. So this is the most American movie we've done.
American. Feels good.
So let's get into it. We get started right away with a big fight. One of those, big boxing matches. We got Clint Eastwood. He both directs and stars in this movie. His character is Frankie Dunn, but he's coaching, training, managing a fighter in this game. And we start to hear Morgan Freeman's voice. And this movie pretty much uses voiceover narration to kind of explain what's going on the entire way through. In which normally I would be like kind of against, but it's Morgan Freeman's voice, so I was more into it.
The one acceptable voice.
Yes.
Did you know immediately it was Morgan Freeman's voice?
Only because I knew he was in the movie. Like, I wonder if I hadn't seen him in the trailer as part of the film, if I would have been like, I feel like I can pick out his voice.
Yeah. He
It's
has
like,
iconics.
yeah.
Yeah, like I knew he was in the film, but like I also knew Clint Eastwood and Hilary Swank is, so it's like you start hearing a man's voice and you're like, oh, is Clint narrating this? But
No, that would have been like,
it's like Morgan Freeman.
We're in the boxing ring.
Where's Rachel?
Batman.
So I knew it was him.
Yeah, so Morgan Freeman's really setting things a lot here in this opening like fight scene. I wrote here, people love violence.
I liked that line.
Yeah, he said boxing is about respect and taking it from the other guy. And as soon as he says that, in from the shadows, watching the fight, here's our girl. It's Hilary Swank.
There she is.
Maggie Fitzgerald. So she's up in the audience watching this fight, and she's got just like a big smile on her face. She's like enthused by this, and she's very excited to be there. And the fight just kind of wraps up.
Yeah.
And Frankie, later after the fight, he like walks out of a room, and Maggie's like right there outside of the room waiting for him. And she's like, hey boss. She's like, what about if you trained me? And he was like, no, you're a girl.
I don't train girls.
I don't train girls. She said, okay, boss. No, she
No,
doesn't.
she said, I'm tough.
Yeah.
And then to which Clint Eastwood said, girly, tough ain't enough.
Mm.
Girly, tough ain't enough.
Ooh, that's good.
Thank you. That was not Clint Eastwood in the studio, by the way.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
me.
Yeah, not once does he refer to her as a woman. It's constantly like, girl, you're a girl.
But he's boss.
Boss,
Yeah.
boss.
So we go there and we get introduced to this location called the Hit Pit. This is a gym that Frankie Dunn, Clint Eastwood's character, owns, and we get introduced to like a barrage of characters here. And so one of the first ones we meet is this like skinny twink guy, Danger, and the only little backstory we get is like he's from Texas and his stepfather kind of like drops him off and abandons him immediately. And
That kind of made me think of my cat.
Mayfield?
Yeah, Mayfield, my cat. Because remember, my dad took my cat
Yeah.
to the next town over and dropped her off. And that's basically what this stepdad did with him.
Did Mayfield also have the habit of saying the N-word a lot?
No. No, we trained her very well not to do that.
Oh, okay, great.
But yeah, it did. It reminded me of Mayfield a little bit.
Well, we also get introduced to Morgan Freeman's character here. Danger kind of approaches Morgan Freeman, whose character is Scrap Iron. And Scrap here, Morgan Freeman, he's like the gym's assistant, handyman. We like here he's like with cleaning supplies. And Danger just kind of walks up and is introducing himself and talking and just keeps saying the N-word to Morgan Freeman. So not our favorite.
No, it was jarring. The first, what happened here? And then he said it 3 more times. And you're like, okay.
And by Morgan Freeman's reaction, you can tell it's not uncommon of him to say this word.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. And then we also get introduced to these like 2 bros. One of them's Anthony Mackie. His name is Shawrell Berry. And then also Michael Pena, who plays Omar. They're kind of the equivalent of like Whitney and Courtney from Bring It On. They're just kind of over in the corner just sneering at
Being
everybody.
bullies.
Being bullies. And really, I mean, the movie doesn't give us a whole lot of backstory about any of these, so we won't touch on them a lot. But there's a sense of community here in this gym, for better or for worse. And, you know, Clint Eastwood's kind of just like walking around, grumbling, mumbling, whatever. He's like perpetually always in a bad mood. And we see Maggie is there as well. She's like hitting a punching bag, and Clint Eastwood's like, what's this girl doing here? And Morgan Freeman's like, well, she paid 6 months. And he is initially like, give her money back, and then he heard 6 months, and he's like, wait, actually? He's like, I would take money from a girl.
That's kind of hot.
Yeah. Like, okay, fine, she can stay. And we cut to a night scene, and Morgan Freeman's kind of locking things up, and he is hearing noises, and he looks over, and Maggie's still there. And Morgan Freeman walks over to her, and he starts giving her some advice, giving her some training tips. And you get the sense that Morgan Freeman has, or his character has experience with boxing in the past. We don't quite know what his story is. He does have one blind eye. He's given her some tips. He's also encouraging her, or gives her a speed bag. She doesn't have one of her own. And so he loans her this one that's at the gym, and she said, like, thanks, like, I will afford to buy one on my own and give this back to you. And should I walk you to your car? And he was like, no, I live here.
I live here.
So it kind of pulls her over to this like little room that's at the gym, and he just kind of sleeps in this like really small 1-bedroom, shabby kind of place. So we get a little bit of a backstory there on Scrap Iron. And really, we learned from Maggie, she is from Missouri, doesn't come from a lot of money. We get clips of her. She's working as a waitress here in town, and we get some images of her sort of cleaning up tables, but she carries some tinfoil with her and she wraps up kind of some of the leftover food for herself to eat. But the thing that strikes me about Maggie is like she really doesn't carry like sadness around with her. Like she really, even when Clint Eastwood is like rejecting her and being like, I'm not going to train you, you're a girl. And even though she's like eating other people's like food scraps, like what stands out to me is sort of her tenacity, her grit, her ability to just like keep moving forward. So yeah, so what did you two think about Maggie? Because really, I only want to talk about her in this movie.
Yeah, she is, I mean, obviously an incredible character. Have you heard of the mystical woman trope?
No, I haven't.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's the mystical woman trope is like the woman that is all wise, all powerful, like super powerful, charming, the most like tenacious, the most positive, never lets anything get her down. No, most often it's like women of color who are portrayed this way. They're like deal with all the strife, but instead rise above it all and are like kind of perfect.
Sure.
And it can create a false like narrative of what it should be like to be a woman where you have to be the best of everything. And Maggie kind of is. She's like the best.
Yeah, you're right. And like no matter what, she's like, oh, stuff is good. Life is good.
Yeah,
and I
she's so
know I
positive.
come from this background, but life is good. And yeah, I could see that being controversial too.
Yeah, I think there's a good example of this really in the next scene. It's like the next day or the next week or whatever, like she's back at the punching bag, or no, she's at the speed bag, and like again, here's, you know, Whitney and Courtney, you know, our two our two gym bullies coming over, and they start harassing her, giving her a hard time, and she holds her own. She throws it right back at Anthony Mackie and really just destroys him with her words, and everyone's like literally pointing fingers at him instead and laughing, and it really just shows her like fighter spirit, her grit, her tenacity, her ability to just not let anybody really put her down.
Yeah,
So,
and she's headstrong. You can see that in the whole film.
Yeah.
She, right from the start, is like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a boxer. And then even something like that, she's like, oh, you're going to bully me? I'm going to bully you right back.
Yeah, even when she's calling Clint Eastwood boss.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't call me boss.
Yes, I wrote and I said, yes, queen, take charge. Because she is. She's like, I'm going to call you boss.
Yeah.
You're going to be my coach.
She's iconic.
Yeah, and she holds her own there, and she earns enough money to buy her own speed bag. Clint Eastwood does come over. He gives her a hard time because he sees that she's using apparently his speed bag that Morgan Freeman was loaning out that he hasn't touched in years, but he literally tells her like, I'm losing business every time you punch that bag. And again, she just like holds her own, works up her own money, buys her own, and sometime later it's like nighttime, but it's her birthday and she's back at it, hitting the speed bag, and Frankie is at the gym and approaches her. We should also say too, he had just lost one of his other fighters to another manager. So I think at this point, Frankie's starting to realize he's maybe not offering as much. Like he's a good trainer, but he won't set up these big fights. He's not pushing his fighters in the direction that they need to be going in, and actually denying them opportunities to progress in this field. And we learn a little bit more about Frankie too, the fact that like he apparently has an estranged daughter that we don't see for the entire movie, so we don't really feel emotionally connected to that storyline. But I think part of what's happening between him and Maggie is this: I don't have a good relationship with my daughter, I don't want to get close to this girl, and suddenly she's becoming my daughter, like a daughter substitute. Spoiler alert, that's what happens anyways, but...
Well, and at one point, she's like, do you have any family? And isn't he like, no. And then he's like, but I have like a daughter. She's like, well, that's family. Yeah.
Right.
But he's still like, no, I don't have any family. So it does. It also sets up where this mystery of you're like, something obviously went on with him and his daughter.
Yeah.
But they aren't family, so yeah.
Yeah.
I think you kind of root for him to also have that relationship that he obviously wants to.
And so it's her birthday. He's coming over and expressing again how little interest he has in training her. And she just turned 32. And he said, you're too old, which
And I
means
said,
none of us were too old to box.
How dare you?
Which, fair enough. If I got into a boxing ring right now...
I could do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No coach needed.
Okay, I would love to see that. I can't wait to see.
There's also the scene where she shows the first level of like frustration or moment of frustration.
Yeah, that's what stuck out to me. She basically is like, this is all I have. She mentions her brother's in prison, her family, they all come from nothing. Like, this is what she wants to do. And
she says her mom is 300 pounds or something.
Did she?
Oh, yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She does weight drop this mom.
Okay. And then you see her mom later and she's
That's
not
justified.
That big.
That's justified. That's honestly, we'll get to it.
But I thought it was going to be like a Gilbert Grape situation.
Oh, yes.
But it was just a plus-size woman.
Yeah.
It's Margot Martindale.
Margot Martindale.
Damn, Maggie.
So she really, again, just advocates for herself, stands up for herself. This is what she wants. She doesn't care if she's too old or what her gender is or whatever. Like, this is what she wants. And she wants him specifically, you know? And in my head, I'm like, Frankie, wake up. You got somebody who specifically wants your expertise. Set aside your own issues and
Be a man.
Be a man, Clint.
What?
So finally, all of this is like, okay, fine, I'll train you. But he's like, don't ever question me. Don't ever ask any questions. Don't even look at me. Don't call me boss. And she literally does. She's like,
Okay, boss.
She's like, okay, boss. So what do I do next?
And he says he's going to train her, but not manage her.
Yeah.
He'll train her and then pass her on to another manager.
Yeah. And this leads to just already like the first sweet moment where he starts teaching her how to like move her feet and shift her weight from the left foot to the right foot. And there's a bit of a rhythm here. And that leads us into a nice montage of Maggie running on the beach and training at the gym and
Crunches, sit-ups.
Yeah. And you
punching.
know,
Running up the stairs in Philadelphia.
yeah.
All to the sound of
The best.
The eye of the tiger.
The best.
I don't want to get sued, or I would sing the whole song.
Right, yeah, please don't. Okay, so we start seeing Maggie in her first fights, and Frankie's really setting her up with other women in her similar like weight class. I don't know if it's based on weight class or just like I don't know enough about boxing.
I think she starts off in what's called lightweight.
Yeah, and then they're working up to welterweight. Okay. And so she's kind of fighting other women who are also like trainees.
Amateurs.
And Maggie proves to be quite effective. She's like knocking them out in the first round. And Frankie, he's kind of like chastising her for it a little bit, but she's so effective that other managers won't send in their fighter against her. And Clint has to actually start bribing them to put in their fighter to let Maggie knock them out in the first round.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But then that doesn't work, so he knows like, all right, she clearly has talent to her. She knows what she's doing, and she's already asking for like bigger fights. And Frankie is really resistant to this. And we don't quite yet know why he won't move forward with her yet. But eventually, though, he has no choice but to move her up a class. And she gets into a fight where literally her nose is like broken during the fight.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And he comes over and like resets it.
Resets it and says you have 20 seconds to end this fight before your blood.
He's like, the front row is about to be a splash zone. You're about to be a
20
geyser.
seconds. Well, and this was something I learned about boxing, and I've always seen it. You know,
Yeah.
they're always like, they always go over and they have cuts and stuff, and they quickly fix
They got
them.
Q-tips.
Yeah,
soaking
and
up the
I always
blood.
thought they were just soaking up blood, but in the first scene of the movie, they put coagulant on it, they said.
Yeah.
And I think he takes 2 Q-tips and shoves them up both her nostrils to
yes.
Of a
coagulate.
broken nose.
Yes, to coagulate the blood. And he's like, you have 20 seconds before it gushes.
I wrote in
And
my notes that he shoved Q-tips in her nose like Hannah does in her ears.
Lena Dunham and Girls.
In Girls.
You two bring that scene up every time I'm with you, and it upsets me every single
That-
It's
time.
really disturbing.
That scene was such a part of me and Eddie's friendship
Yeah.
forever. But yeah, I mean, I'll never look at a Q-tip the same
No.
because of Hannah Horvath.
Or like she was really innovating COVID testing, like shoving these Q-tips
So
up her
far.
nose.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, apparently it's a rule in boxing. Like if it keeps bleeding, then they get pulled from the
Yeah,
match.
I didn't know they had like a match doctor
A
that
medic,
has
yeah.
to walk around and like approve that you're still not hurt enough so you
Yeah,
can
you're
keep
fit.
going.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he says, you got 20 seconds to knock this bitch out.
And she's like, okay, boss.
okay, boss. Gets up, bam.
Knocks her
out.
In a coma.
No. She got up after 7 seconds.
But Maggie gets it done. And so now she's starting to gain some notoriety here. She's getting some attention. But Frankie still kind of is refusing bigger fights. She's still asking for it. And at some point, Morgan Freeman, Scrap, he brings Maggie to a diner and chats with her a little bit more just about Frankie in general. We learn that Frankie used to train Morgan Freeman back in the day. Morgan Freeman also was like a very good boxer. And during a match that he was bleeding. He had got this cut above his eye, and it kept bleeding so much that blood just kept pulling into his eye. And this is the reason why he's blind. And instead of being pulled from that match, Frankie and them agreed to keep going. And it led to the loss of his eye. And when he should have been pulled sooner. So Frankie kind of really blames himself for Scrap's blindness. And that, I think, in addition to his estranged daughter, it's just like all this is leading him, Clint Eastwood, to, I think he's being extra cautious with Maggie, not wanting her to suffer a similar fate.
His number one rule
is always protect yourself.
Always protect yourself.
Yeah.
You really get the sense that his goal is to not have a serious injury like Morgan Freeman had, that he feels responsible for that.
Well, and you can see in that he continues to employ Morgan Freeman. He lets him live in the hit pit, you know, that he's like, I have some responsibility to take care of him for the rest of his life now.
Yeah, and also at this diner is like another manager is there, one that is kind of poaching fighters from Frankie. And so Morgan Freeman kind of insinuates, he kind of leaves, but the insinuation is like, hey, like you could leave Frankie, you could go with this other manager. And Maggie decides out of loyalty, I'm not going to do that. I'm sticking with Frankie. Like, this is the path I've chose. So again, like sticking with her gun. She had a vision for herself and she's not deviating from it.
And I liked too when Morgan Freeman leaves and he kind of says too, like, remember the number one rule, protect yourself. And it was kind of like a spin on you protect yourself in the ring, but also like if going with a different manager is going to be best for you, Maggie, you got to do it and protect yourself in every way. And Maggie was called over and quickly is like, I will not be managed by anyone else. Or you know, I'm sticking with Frankie and I'm really sorry.
Exactly. So from here we head to London, which I think every movie we touched on it. So Oliver Twist is there again. He's 98 years old. So she's preparing for a fight, and it's just like her and Frankie, and he's like, I have a gift for you. And he busts out this cape. Is that what it is?
Robe?
A robe.
A robe. It's like, it's green.
A fighter's robe. You're all familiar.
And it's like bright green. Frankie had already been like using some like Gaelic earlier in the film. Apparently has some Irish roots or whatever. But on the back of this cape is the phrase Macushla. And Hilary Swank is like, well, what does that mean? And he's like, nah, secrets. But she's very honored to receive this and to be bestowed a name. I don't know how common it is for boxers to sort of have like a name or a title, I guess. But she dons this gift and heads out to the ring, and this whole like London audience like sees it and they immediately start chanting Macushla, Macushla. Like they love it. I don't know if they know what it means either, but they see it and she has fans already. So clearly like her reputation went across the pond here, and she's winning a bunch of fights over in Europe. She earns a bunch of money, and her and Frankie sit down kind of celebrating at like dinner or whatever, and she was like, hey, you know how I always talked about buying a house for my mom? Well, I did it. Winning.
She's so proud.
She's so proud. She's like, I want you to meet her. I've told them about you. And he's like, okay, I'll meet her. Where's Rachel? Where are the other drugs?
That's not this movie.
So we head back to the States to see the very heartwarming
oh my god
scene.
The lovely Margot Martindale.
Yes.
She is so good.
I love her.
Yes.
She's Hannah Montana's grandma in the Hannah Montana movie.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, she's also in The Americans.
Yeah, but her biggest role is the Hannah Montana movie.
Okay. All right. I don't even know if she's given a name in this movie, but she's just Hilary Swank's mom.
Yeah.
And so they head to like the trailer park area where they live, and her sister is there. And as soon as they roll up, they're like eyes rolling. They're like, oh, she's here. She's back. And she does bring Frankie with her, who kind of just is like silently observing this. But
she also has like a broken nose, black eyes,
yes.
like during this whole scene.
Yep. And they don't ask any questions about that. They're just like, oh, it's you again. What do you want?
What are you doing here?
And she's like, hey, come with me. I got a surprise for you. And takes her over to this like suburban area. And they're like, what are we doing at this? This is so-and-so's place. And Hilary Swank's like, no, it's not, Ma. It's yours. It's your house. Here you go. And they walk in, and the look of disgust. And I need to just state this now. This family, Margot Martindale, are, of all the movies we've covered thus far, these are my least favorite characters of all time.
That would include in the groups, who's else is in that group that we've seen in movies?
Sergeant Barnes, Kill Bill.
People who have killed beloved characters are
better than this family.
True murderers, and Brad likes them more than Margot Martindale in this movie.
I mean, am I wrong? Did you two find a little sparkle of joy in seeing these portrayals?
No.
They're obviously terrible people.
And they only get worse throughout the movie.
Yeah. Even more so just elevates Maggie. Like, how did such a good person come from this terrible family? And
she still wants to support them. Like, you know, she's so good.
Why is that how? So, yeah, her mom is like, her immediate concern is if I own this house, then my welfare checks are going to be in jeopardy here. Like, it would have been better if you had just given me money instead. And they are not appreciative of at all.
No,
of
and
this house.
The mom reinforces how little she respects the lifestyle she's chosen.
Yep.
I wrote down the quote, find a man, Maryam, live proper. Like, that's what they believe is the proper life.
Yeah, I don't know if it happens here or later, but she's like, we're all laughing at you. Like, we hear what you're doing, we know what you're up to, and we're laughing at you.
People hear about what you're doing, and they laugh. That was another quote I wrote.
I think, I get the vibe that they don't realize how good she is, right? They probably never seen her box. They don't.
No, of course not.
They've never paid attention, so they don't realize that she's like this incredible boxer at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Maggie's like, you want the money? Then sell the house yourself. Here you go. See ya. And Frankie really doesn't have an exchange. Well, no, actually, the mom is like, is he hitting you?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Because she has the black eye, yeah.
Yeah. And she doesn't even dignify that with a
No.
response. So we leave that kind of tense exchange, and it's just like her and Frankie in the car, and it's a very sweet scene, talking about their upbringings, and again, Maggie's like perspective on life, and just how she can kind of hold this optimism in her heart. And they go to like a local diner that's got this best like lemon pie or whatever it is, and like it's finally happened. Frankie has let down the walls, like Maggie is in, and clearly they needed each other. Like Maggie's father is like not in the picture. I believe he had passed already. We know Frankie's daughter's exchange, so this is a partnership that has like a deeper bond beyond just boxing and trainer and coach and all that. So, but yeah, a very sweet scene. And then
I think too, and you might be getting to this, but I think it happened right before the diner, is they had just left the house and they're sitting at a gas station, and Frankie's like pumping gas, and Maggie's sitting in the car and looks over, and there's this like little girl just like very happy sitting in this truck with this dog, and you could just tell like Maggie looks over, and it's just kind of like the epitome of joy that she's seeing. Like this little girl, she's like smiling at Maggie and she's happy, and then this dog, and I think she just kind of has a happy moment. And in the car she asks Frankie, she's like, did you ever have a dog? And she was and he was like, yeah. Or was it he had the dog or she did?
She did.
She had a dog.
Her dad had a dog. It was named Axel.
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, my dad had a dog named Axel. We loved him, but he just got old and he had to euthanize her, blah, blah, blah.
He lost his control of his legs, and they had to put him down.
Right.
So there's a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah, it becomes an important scene. But yeah, and it's funny because I saw this shot and I was like, there has to be a reason for this little girl. It's not just a shot for nothing. So I thought I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah. And so finally we get the big fight set up, a $1 million title fight.
In Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. And her opponent, the champion holder here, is this like German woman, the Blue Bear.
Billy the
She
Blue
is
Bear.
Yes.
A buff woman.
Yo, yeah, scary.
Scary.
And she comes out to this very scary music.
Yes, it's very ominous.
She's
Yes.
very
And I get it now.
villainous.
Yes.
And she fights dirty. Like, she's got a reputation. Like, this is not going to be an easy fight. Of course, Maggie is not perturbed by this at all. Is excited. This is her big moment. And
Before they go out, though, they put the robe on, and she's like, please, will you tell me what Makushla means?
Yeah.
And he said, you win this, and I'll tell you what it means. So that also sets it up, and then they come out, and then all this, you just are like, ooh, this is going to be a big fight.
And it's just her and Frankie. Morgan Freeman stays behind, but he's watching it on TV. The gym bullies are all like listening on the radio. And so we head on out. And the match does start off a little rough. So for Maggie, who was so used to kind of knocking people out in that first round, but that is not the case here. She's quickly sort of being bested, but we're also seeing like Blue Bear is like doing things illegally, like doing things incorrectly. The ref is getting pissed and like taking points away already, and basically saying like, you do that again, you're out of here. So we're already getting a sense that like, oh, okay, this German woman, she's scary and she's out for blood. And so Maggie gets a little bit of a pep talk from Frankie, gets her head back into the game, and starts turning the tides.
Taking cheap shots herself, honestly, too.
Yeah, is starting to win, starting to gain momentum. The crowd is going wild, going nuts.
Makushla!
It's getting very intense, and here we get to the end of the round. The bell clearly rings. Maggie earned the point, or whatever it is, whatever the scoring mechanism is in boxing.
Earns the goal.
You can
Scores.
tell that-
Maggie scores the goal.
Got the touchdown.
You can tell that Maggie won that round.
Yes.
So here's what happens, okay? Maggie turns her back to Blue Bear. Blue Bear then just goes for this like illegal right hook, just wails Maggie. Time slows down. Maggie's starting to fall. We get a shot of the corner of the ring where somebody just puts a stool at the corner, which is normally what happens at the end of the round.
On its side.
On its side, it hasn't been lifted up, but Maggie's already like falling towards it, and then we get this sickening slow motion shot of Hilary Swank, Maggie's neck landing perfectly on the side of the bench, filled with sound effects that you would just love to hear. These snap,
Her
crackle,
neck
pops.
snaps.
And Clint Eastwood's character saw this happening, reached for the stool,
Yes.
was trying to pull it out, but
Yeah.
he just didn't do it in time.
Yeah, and we get like a POV shot from Maggie, like kind of basically looking up, and everyone's like surrounding her, and they're like, keep breathing, that's good. We don't yet know like what's happening here, and then we like fade to black. Maggie wakes up in a Las Vegas hospital, and due to this, she is a quadriplegic.
On a ventilator.
On a ventilator,
She
yes.
says like a C2, C4 complete.
Yes.
Her spinal cord has completely broke.
Yeah,
Can't even breathe on her own.
correct, yeah. So This is pretty much worst case scenario. And I think for me, somehow the stool is the only thing I remembered from this whole movie. But I still thought maybe like, oh, like she just won't, like the stool will be enough she can't box anymore. And that's kind of the sad. I did not think it was going to lead to this particular result.
Because you hadn't seen the movie. You just knew about a stool being part of the movie. Okay.
And you knew about Makushla.
The only thing I knew was from The Office when Michael Scott walks in and I don't even think he says Makushla.
No.
I think he says like Marushka or something.
Yeah,
and then Pam's like, oh my, Makushla, he's watching $1 Million Baby. And then she looks at the camera, oh my God, he's going to try to kill me. And I did not get that until we watched the movie, but that was the only thing I knew about $1 Million Baby.
Yeah. So Frankie, as you could expect, is devastated. Like, he's lashing out at Morgan Freeman, lashing out at everyone, placing blame on Morgan Freeman, really, and
saying, you talked me into coaching her,
yeah,
and then this happened, so he literally says, this is your fault.
We've gotten enough so far in the movie to understand exactly why he's saying these things, because essentially what happened to Morgan Freeman and how Frankie blamed himself, like an even worse result has happened here with Maggie, who he had just gotten close to, and so Frankie really goes through it, and doctors in this Las Vegas hospital are basically saying like there's really nothing to be done here. Like this is going to be her life for the remainder of her life. And Frankie just is all the stages of grief, like enters denial, is like calling around to every hospital. He's doing everything that he can to get her the best medical care. They move her out to like Los Angeles to another care facility. And I will say from Maggie's perspective, again, she still has not lost the spirit. She has not lost.
Still jokes around.
Yep, still jokes around, still says boss. It's very heartbreaking. And even more heartbreaking and frustrating is the return of Maggie's family here in LA.
Well, I think the narration says that she'd been there for a couple weeks and Frankie had tried to reach to her family. Like they hadn't answered, the family hadn't visited, and then they eventually show up.
Yeah, because now we're in LA and the family does show up and the brother is out of prison, so he's there with them. It's the first time we're seeing him on screen. They all like are walking into the hospital.
And the first thing you notice is they're all wearing Disneyland clothes.
Yep, Disneyland t-shirts.
Disney, the happiest place on earth. Yeah. They're all decked out in Disney clothes. And you see them walking in.
And they clearly had a good day.
A very fun day. Yeah. Before they had seen their daughter, they had taken time to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And spend money, I'm sure, that they don't have.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood, like, approaches them and he's like, do you want to go home and change, maybe? And they're like, no. Like, we're here to see her. And one man who's not in Disneyland clothing, who's just in a suit, is, like, with them. So, I'm not sure what that deal is. But despite Frankie's efforts here, the family does locate her room. They go in, and Frankie doesn't initially go in. But something I had kind of clocked hearing them was like they were talking about like, oh my God, my body was rolling around on this roller coaster, and just thinking like that's just so rude to say.
Oh, insensitive. Yeah.
Right.
And Frankie starts hearing a little bit more. Like some time has passed, but he kind of enters the room at this like critical moment where we learn that this like man in the suit with them is their like lawyer, their attorney, and the family wants Maggie to sign over her assets to her family, basically kind of signifying that like you're at the end of your life, so therefore bestow your assets to us and we'll protect it for you, Maggie.
It's for you, Maggie. Yeah. This is for you.
And Maggie really is like, she's processing this, and the family continues. They're like, we just need you to sign it. Like Margot Martindale is like holding the paper up to them and a pen, and the sister's like, you got to put it in her mouth
for her to sign. Pen in her mouth for her to sign. It's really horrifying.
It was so cringy.
Yeah, and so Maggie does hold the pen in her mouth for like a beat and then just lets it fall right out. And then she goes further to say like, get out of this room. I'm not signing anything over to you. And if you ask me again, or if you don't leave right now, I will tell this lawyer guy all about how you're cheating the welfare system and you'll lose everything. And Margot Martindale cries immediately, leaves the room, and is so distraught.
The only emotion she's shown while looking at her quadriplegic daughter is because she doesn't get this signature.
So that's tough. And sometime later at night, Frankie meets with, well, I should also say, like, due to sort of the lack of like movement, she develops these really horrific looking bed sores that leads to one of her legs having to be amputated. And so sometime after that, and again, I really got to stress, like Maggie continues to hold it together emotionally. Like we never really see her cry or just be wallowed in sadness about the situation. Unlike kind of Frankie, who is still kind of reeling. But he visits her again and she's like, hey, do you remember that story I told you about Axel, the dog? And he immediately kind of clocks what she's asking here for. Yeah. And she needs his help to help her pass on from this life. And I don't really think this is like coming from a source of sadness for Maggie. Like the whole time she stresses that like she is content. She got to do the thing that she wanted to do.
See the world, do what she loved. She was so happy with all that she's done.
Yeah.
She felt content.
But Frankie, it's hard for him to hear. He does not. He kind of initially rejects. He kind of sits with it a little bit. He does meet with this very sassy priest guy who we check in multiple times throughout the movie, and he just was so rude to Clint. I really don't understand, which is why I haven't brought him up before.
Yeah.
But this priest guy is like, don't do this. Like, it's going to haunt you forever.
Well,
Morgan Freeman kind of gives the opposite advice as the priest. Like, she's lived a good life. That's basically what he would want, that he understands her request.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of changes Clint Eastwood's mind.
And I think you can kind of see in that conversation, Frankie is like, okay, talking to Eddie, who had not the same experience, but a similar experience, you know, you could kind of see that he's like, you need to listen to her. Just because I've been hurt, it changed my life. Obviously not to the same extent, but I think he also has seen Frankie continue to support and put all of his energy and time into supporting Eddie, and Eddie's just kind of like, you need to listen to her.
Who's Eddie?
That is Morgan Freeman's character.
Morgan Freeman.
Oh, his
Different
name is
Eddie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie Scrapfire.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I did not know
You were
that
there,
till
Eddie.
now.
Eddie Scrap Iron Dupree.
Oh my
Yes.
god, cool.
Yeah.
And then we learn later, too, that, like, Maggie, perhaps in her first moment of the whole movie, attempts to do this on her own, tries to, like, bite her own tongue in order to sort of
Drown herself
bleed out.
in her own blood, basically.
But that fails. Frankie does get called. And with all of this in kind of in mind, you know, Frankie visits her really for the last time. And he finally tells her, in his eyes, she did win. She did win the fight. So she's earned the right to learn what Makushala means. And he tells her it means my darling, my blood. And then he helps her fulfill her wish and he lets her go. Morgan Freeman does kind of witness this act that Frankie does. And we learn that the voiceover narration the whole time is actually Morgan Freeman's character, like letting Frankie's daughter know that the true character of her father.
He's writing a letter to Clint Eastwood's daughter saying, like, this is who your father is if you ever want to reach out. Clint Eastwood has been writing letters to his daughter.
And they keep getting returned.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
not really a happy ending? I mean,
no. He gives Maggie a huge shot of adrenaline, very similar to the euthanasia that the dog went through. But then at the end, you see Eddie in the hip pit and he's there again and just kind of back to how things were before.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also see, I don't even think you ever see him but they say Frankie never returned to the hip pit, like the narration. He never came back after what happened to Maggie. But you kind of get the idea that he went and lived this like simple life at this diner that the two of them ate at. And you kind of get the idea that he just went and enjoyed the simple things in life on his own.
Mm-hmm.
The last scene, I wrote, the last scene shows Frankie in the diner. Maybe you do see him, but you just kind of learn that he quietly left his life as it was and went off into peace of his own.
I do want to talk about the Maggie of it all because a running theme so far in this podcast is Carly and I sort of like reflecting on the female characters and the female representation, and so far they've all been kind of a bummer. I think like Marion Wings gets the best happy ending, maybe the Hindu princess Shirley MacLaine and gets a happy ending.
Yeah, she becomes rich.
But it's tough. Like this was kind of a brutal last 30 minutes.
We were so excited.
Yes,
to see this leading power lady.
Yeah,
and the way my balloon was deflated. I wrote here another dead leading lady with so many dots after it.
Yeah.
I think you could argue it was a happy ending for her. Like, she ended on the number one, almost the number one boxer in the world.
Yeah.
Like, she was competing against this woman who was the number one, and most people agree that she would have won.
Yeah.
So really, like, she got what she wanted. It was an abrupt ending, but I think there is some argument that it was a good ending for her in a weird way.
And she did get what she wanted.
Yeah, she got to live her dream. She was a hero.
Yeah, this will probably kind of lead maybe into how we feel overall about the film and our rating and ranking, which I think for me, like, what was maybe a little frustrating about this film is that I think I really wanted it to be more of Maggie's story, and to me this movie felt like it was both half Clint Eastwood's story and Hilary Swank's story, and I think there was a way for her to be centered even more. Also, her family, in my opinion, is like so cartoonishly evil, like it stretches credibility to me.
Like Cinderella, evil stepsisters
kind
of way.
Yeah, and so it's like maybe if we got to see more scenes with her, like Maggie, and interacting with her family, like we obviously get enough. We're really hit over the head with what the dynamic is, but I think there could have been room to see like more layers or nuances to this relationship versus like it's so starkly who we're rooting for, who we're not rooting for.
Why did she get into boxing? You know, why was she interested in boxing? I don't think we really find out.
What was the spark?
So she just kind of burst into existence and is this incredible. Yeah. And I actually think maybe part of what you're experiencing too is that she starts off a little rough and then 10 minutes later in the movie she's the number one box. Like, that progression of her goes by really fast.
Quickly.
Rarely see her struggling in boxing.
Yeah.
There's a couple moments there where she struggles a little, but she is like the best so fast.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit more journey.
I think I could have done less with like some of those characters that we meet in the very beginning in the gym that we kind of ran through quickly and didn't really bring up again because like they don't really play a major role. So I think some of those scenes or those characters could have been sacrificed to like hop in with Maggie a little bit more, see her waitressing, see her like taking the food home, the way that she's like hustling to earn the money to achieve her dream. We're getting this like backstory with Clint, which I think is like helpful, but it's kind of hard when it's like you're telling us he has this estranged daughter and we don't even really see her. There's all these scenes where he's like going to his church and
you're right.
I just think like some of that, if this was more of a Maggie story, like those things I think would have been cut in favor of centering her a little bit more.
You don't even see Maggie kiss a guy. God.
Oh my God.
Find
would
a
I
man.
have loved
Like,
that.
she literally never even looks at
She
him.
never even crushed. Yeah.
No.
No even little crushes.
And that's so important.
So important. That's the one thing she didn't do.
Wait, can I tell you the story about the first time I saw this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was probably in 2006 or something. I was hanging out with my dad after my parents' brutal divorce. And
I've been there.
my dad's like, do you want to watch one of the happiest movies on earth? This movie seems really great. $1 Million
Oh, so he
Baby.
hadn't seen it.
No, it was like new. And
It looks like a powerful movie.
yeah,
Fun.
and
An inspiring sports drama.
Yeah.
loves
sports drama.
boxers, so he's like, let's watch this movie. And we're watching the movie, and it's like, I'm like probably 11 years old, sobbing most of the time. And then we're at the end, she's paralyzed, and he tells her what Makushla means. And I remember so distinctly, like, movie theater being silent, and my dad
Oh, it was in a movie theater?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
dad rips the biggest fart on earth, and I was like,
Oh my God.
and we're like,
And there's no way that whole theater didn't hear?
no, the whole theater heard, like, Makushla means my love, my darling, and then the loudest fart that you thought was coming from the movie, and it like kind of ruined it for me.
Oh my God, the way I would have slid out of the theater.
Yeah.
No, I was like, I don't even. So
I would have collapsed upon myself like a dying star.
yeah, it was much better watching it.
Oh my God.
I almost like thought I was going to hear a fart when I saw it again. This is the second time I've watched it.
It just would have made sense in the film at that point.
Yeah.
So it was kind of traumatic from multiple perspectives for me.
Wow, yeah. During that point, the farting point, the
Yeah,
moment in
at
the
the
movie,
farting
at the
moment.
farting point,
Where
when
were
he
you?
finally, and he gives her like a very like fatherly kiss on the cheek,
Mhm.
like it's just,
Yeah.
you could tell like his heart's being taken away from him.
Yeah.
It's devastating. And he says, exactly, my darling, my blood. And I told you that I'm going to keep a track of this, my tears,
Mhm.
and I got a true throat lump. Like, I probably might have cried on a different day,
Yeah.
or
No, I
time of the
cried.
month, you know?
I cried during watching it.
Even
and
after when your dad farted? Or just this
then
time?
I cried.
It
This
was
time
so
I
stinky.
cried.
Yeah, it was, it was more,
It's so acidic.
it was more of a tear.
Ew, that's so gross. Even Brad describing it almost made me cry. So
Yeah. So I want to make it clear that Hilary Swank's performance, amazing.
Amazing.
I think the character of Maggie is amazing, and I think certainly like the strongest, most interesting female character we've had thus far, if I were to unfairly compare them. But
I would read a book about her,
Yes.
about this character.
Yeah.
I would watch a
wait,
whole...
is it based on a true story?
I
No.
did read it's based on something, but no.
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, if there was a book based on the life of Maggie Fitzgerald, I would
Mhm.
read it.
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure.
You would, yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
You
you
would.
definitely would. So, but yeah, I think I'm trying not to sort of like hold it against the film for the fate of this character, because that's the story that's ultimately told here. But yeah, I think Carly and I are certainly projecting a vision of a woman that we wish that we could see. But I'm still very, very happy with Hilary Swank in this leading role, and she was compelling the whole way through, and certainly I was rooting for her, and the fact that we're so devastated is a testament to what she brought to the character. And let's talk about our rating and ranking, because I'm so curious. Carly and I the three of us did not watch this together, so
No.
but our emoji that we're using is the boxing glove,
Yep.
so it's gonna be a little tricky to figure out what we will do for Rocky later on.
But we'll figure that
We'll
out.
figure that out. And Carly, do you want to?
Yeah, I'll go first.
You want to go first?
So I would say my rating is 4 boxing gloves.
Okay.
For sure. I looked through it in my head after the movie. I was like, I don't know, maybe a 3. But I mean, I gave Oliver a 3.
Right.
This movie definitely deserves a 4.
Yeah.
A 4 boxing gloves from me.
You ready for mine?
Yeah.
I also give it a 4.
Wow!
Yeah, I think, to me, it put me in a similar, like, emotional place as Platoon did, honestly. Like, I just thought...
And you gave that a 4 as well.
Yeah, I gave that a 4 as well. So it felt only fitting. In terms of our ranking, I'm already kind of hinting a little bit in terms of where I think it lands, but I would say Platoon has like been my favorite, and this is competing with it. It's a matter of, for me, is it higher or lower than Platoon? And
let's have Eddy give his thought on boxing gloves. How many boxing gloves did you give?
I was just about to say, do I get to participate
Brad
in
was
this?
I was very clear about the guest role on the podcast. Did you not read the one-pager?
The FOP addendum? Article 3 of the...
You can give your rating, but I'm cutting it out.
Do you do 0.5s or no?
Absolutely not.
Not.
And don't you dare.
That's a big...
Okay.
This would be your last podcast.
Then I think it's 4 boxing gloves.
Okay. Were you going to maybe do 3.5 or 4.5? Okay.
Yeah. Because I think it's near perfect. Yeah. I would like a little bit more well-roundedness of the story and of Maggie as a character. But I thought overall it's like just the hero's journey of like this person who starts off with a rough life, becomes the best, and then ends like in this hero status, to me is everything I want from a movie.
Totally.
So, thank you, Eddy.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Eddy.
Okay, I'll lead us off for the ranking.
Okay.
Just to clarify for the viewers where we have things at, we have Platoon is the only movie in our B category, our B tier, and we have Oliver in the C, and we have Wings in the D. So
and F.
Oh yeah, what?
We have Around the World in 80 Days in the F.
Yeah, but I'm not putting $1 Million Bebe in F.
Okay.
So for me, I want this to be close to Platoon. I want to put it in the B tier. And I believe it should go after Platoon. I don't think it is. I think Platoon is a stronger film. Overall, I think the directing is better in Platoon, the writing's better in Platoon, and I think I expressed a little already that in $1 Million Baby, it feels like two halves of a story when it could have focused on like one character and like telling it from their perspective. And then I'm seeing a lot of rolling eyes.
Yeah, Carly and I are rolling our eyes.
I wish I could roll my eyes back further.
I think the lighting in this movie was like bizarre, like big shadows on the face. Lighting.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with a woman being the protagonist.
Yeah, let's just call it what it is.
Clint Eastwood did not write this movie. This movie was written by Paul Haggis, who actually directs and writes the next Best Picture winner, Crash. But I do think like the writing is just a little heavy-handed. Like it's like there's no subtlety really in this movie. It really hits you in the face. And I just think for me, I preferred for something to be a little bit more, less starkly sort of black and white and a little bit more, gives you something more to think about. But I think this movie leaves you exactly with the same like level of thought, basically. Like we're going to have the same reactions towards what's going on in the film. Where Platoon, you, I think, have a little bit more to think about and ponder about. And I like that. I'm someone who just likes thinking about thinking. So Platoon, I felt like just gave me a little bit more to wonder about. So that's just my argument. But Carly, I did predict that Carly would put this number 1. But tell me.
I mean, I saw it maybe in the A category for me. Okay. Again, I continue to not totally get the categories, but I do think think it was an A movie for me. I enjoyed the characters more than Platoon. I enjoyed the dialogue more than Platoon. I enjoyed the character arcs more than Platoon. I enjoyed the whole entire movie more than Platoon. I enjoyed the female characters more than Platoon. I enjoyed the settings more than Platoon. I enjoyed the lighting more than Platoon. I enjoyed the opening credits more than Platoon.
It could just be summarized by I enjoyed the whole movie more than Platoon.
I enjoyed everything. But you also, when I watched Platoon, I finished that movie and I was like, good movie, stop.
I knew you didn't like it.
I didn't think on it as much as you did. Right. You thought on it and really opened my eyes more to the background and the thinkers. So I walked away from this movie thinking, whereas you had to kind of walk me to that. Yeah. Where I think I do lean, I empathize more with female protagonists, and that's just who I am as a female. But I don't know. I see it as an A movie. I could see it as a B movie ahead of Platoon, but I think at this point we have Eddy break the tie.
I have other movies.
Okay. Or Brad, what do you think about that?
What I would like to do is put it in the B category ahead of, I'm willing to make that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you are willing to meet me in B above Platoon. Yeah. Why? What changed you? Are you just giving in because I'm hot and cute, or?
Right.
No, it's not that. No, none of those things.
No, that's not it.
No, I'm telling you, for me, this was competing with Platoon. And in my thoughts, Platoon ekes out over, but in my head, I was like, I had already sort of I'm willing to concede this to Carly, who probably is putting this above Platoon in my head. Because I do like the film and I do enjoy it.
And you like me.
And I love Carly, who's a strong female lead of her own.
Heck
and
yeah.
who hopefully just avoids stools, Carly. Just
Oh, I haven't walked
they're
by
coming
one.
for women everywhere.
It's been
Or
4
being
days since
knocked
I've...
out by a German bear.
I have not stepped foot by a stool or a German bear in 4 days since I watched this movie. I'm going to have to bear that the rest of my life.
Bear.
I'm going to have to...
We had the blue bear
Blue bear that the rest of my life. Eddie, what did you think in terms of ranking?
To me, this is an A-list movie, like
Yeah.
A-tier movie.
You would say A.
It is incredible. I think it's one of the better ones.
Yeah. Was this
in
on
the
the list?
list?
Was
Wow.
this on the top 100 movies of the 21st century list released by the New York Times?
Wow,
I don't think
it
so.
was.
I don't think so.
I think we would have noticed that because we've
Yeah.
had it on our brain. New York
This-
Times just released a movie of the top quotes.
Yeah.
The top 100 movies of the 21st century, and this movie
If
was not on
Superbad
it.
made it, and
If Wall-E made it,
Borat.
this movie didn't,
Borat?
that's a shame.
I know. But we already debunked that list because La La Land's not on it.
No.
I think
Mean Girls is not on it. I mean,
Wow.
Correct, yeah.
right? That is a cultural
Your list is gonna
phenomenon.
be
Bring It
way
On
more
wasn't on
accurate.
it.
Bring It On is not on it.
I mean,
These are
ladies.
cultural movies, so we disrespect the list so much.
Well, Carly, is this movie for the girls?
A quadrillion %. I think it's for the
Ding, ding, ding.
girls. I think it's by the girls, for the girls.
Yeah.
I really loved it, watching it as a girly. And yeah, I think it's for the girls to watch. It's also for the girls in terms of it presents to anybody watching that girls are badass and can be badass. And we can take charge. In whatever way that means, we can take charge. And I really loved it.
I do have a question, though.
Yeah.
Is Hilary Swank hot?
I couldn't stop thinking about that the whole time I watched the movie.
Yeah, it's really important.
Brad does not like this conversation.
It doesn't. It's not going to age well.
He said it doesn't age well.
Okay.
But, I mean, it is a pretty big part of The Office.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode on whether or not
But what do you
Hilary
think? I
Swank
want
is
to know.
hot. I think Hilary Swank is hot for the same reason Kelly Kapoor does. Hilary Swank is hot. If Hilary Swank
Right.
cannot not be hot.
Right, because if she's not hot,
not hot.
I'm obviously less hot than her, so what
Yes.
does that make me?
Yeah, so she's smoking.
No, she is hot, honestly, in this movie.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful performer.
Do you think she's hot, Brad?
As 3 people interested in men, we agree she's hot.
I really like her filmography.
Okay.
Okay, so Brad, I'm interested if you think this is for the gays. And Eddie, please weigh in on it as well.
Yeah, I'm
as
gay.
a fellow gay.
I am gay,
We'll
so I
let
can't-
Eddie answer for whatever group
Okay,
he
yeah.
wants to.
I think it's clearly for the gays.
Oh, why?
Like, gay people love a strong woman, like a
That's why you guys like me so
female
much.
superhero. Like, she is incredible. She's hot. She's everything to me. She is mother. She is serving boots and the house down Makushla. Don't you agree? Like, she...
The Mo is short for mother. Mother
Kushla.
No, I just think, like, yeah, gay people eat that kind of stuff up.
You guys stan a character like Maggie.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Because
You, devil's advocate? No.
Oh.
I do hear all that, and that is interesting to consider. But like, it's Clint Eastwood that's taking it away from me. Clint Eastwood, who's like a symbol of masculinity, of like, he's clearly the straightest man that's ever
Okay, but-
existed, ever.
I have a question for you. Is Clint Eastwood hot?
I mean...
He's hot in this movie.
His son is very hot, Scott Eastwood.
Okay,
Let me be the
but
first to
in
congratulate
this
you,
movie,
Scott, on being
He
so
is
hot.
hot. Clint Eastwood is hot.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Do you like him here at like 70 years old?
Yeah, he's hot in this movie.
All right, Eddie's convinced me.
No, he's hot.
Young
There's no
Clint
debating
Eastwood.
that.
Young Clint Eastwood can get it. I don't think I...
No, he looks good. His voice is deep, like in your ear.
Oh, yeah.
As
Oh, my
Brad would
gosh.
say, I wouldn't say no.
I wouldn't kick him out of bed.
Yeah, I wouldn't kick him out of bed.
That's what Brad would say.
Or
Please, my parents are probably not going to listen to this. I'm making concessions across the board because clearly this was a 2 versus 1 from the very start.
So you say thumbs up for the gays.
I'm going to say
Yes.
thumbs up for the gays.
Okay.
Due to Hilary Swank alone. Okay, well, let's dive into a little bit about this Academy Awards, and we'll talk about the man himself, Clint,
Woo.
who Eddie's like ready to go home with. So the 77th Academy Awards was hosted by Chris Rock for the first time.
Oh, does he get slapped in this one?
No, he doesn't. But he's also not well received at all. So the Oscars wanted a young, kind of fresh face. They wanted to go in a new direction. They picked Chris Rock, but he has this like controversial comment before about,
Uh-oh.
he's like, no straight man I know ever watches the Oscars. Kind of like poking fun at the Oscars, but kind of bringing in the straight aspect of it. And people were sort of like not happy about that.
Chris Rock.
Yeah. Basically kind of telling like the Oscars are very stealthy and like
Okay.
are inherently gay. And is he wrong? I don't know.
And then all the people were like, nuh-uh.
Yeah.
I know, it's one of those things that was, he got canceled in 2005 for it, but today people would be like, yeah.
They would
Right, this was 2004.
That joke would kill at the Oscars today.
Yes.
Chris Rock is the first black man to ever host the Oscars
Wow.
solo.
In
So-
2005,
Yeah.
this happened.
So
Wow.
there have been people of color hosted in the past, but always as a co-host.
They were like,
He's-
they
he's the
cannot
first
do it
black
alone.
man. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So he does also during the ceremony, he like makes a dig at Jude Law, who gets really mad at it.
He
And so
deserved it.
his reception is very like mixed here.
Jude Law there.
I don't even know if he was, but he just like
Oh.
Chris Rock had like a whole monologue about like you wanted Tom Cruise, but you got Jude Law instead.
So the next time he's like, this time I'm gonna really take a shot at Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, that was Chris Rock. So let's talk about the lesser half, the movies that did not win that year.
Yes, please. I can't wait. I have avoided spoilers on this because I want to blind react to what they were.
Well, this was the year really of biographies because our first movie is The Aviator, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, who does not win.
Of course he doesn't.
But he's playing Howard Hughes, and this is like the big winner of the night, honestly. Has 11 nominations.
It won
5
everything but
wins.
Best Actor.
Correct. And not Best Picture or
yeah,
Best
true.
Director. Yeah.
Okay.
But it got more wins than $1 Million Baby did, and more
MDB.
nominations.
Wow.
So
Upset.
this was directed by Martin Scorsese, who also doesn't win. So up at this point, too, Martin Scorsese is kind of one of the biggest losers, but that's going to change in 2 years with The Departed. The next movie is Finding Neverland.
Oh, with the one guy, the little kid. He's the doctor. He's that same guy on ABC.
Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor.
Freddie Highmore.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Johnny Depp is the lead, is playing Jim Barry, who created Peter Pan. They had 7 nominations. They tied with $1 Million Baby, but they only got 1 win.
Kate Winslet is in that as well.
Okay.
Big fan.
Yeah, I just kind of looked at the first actor I saw. I have a lot to get through.
Okay.
The next one is Ray, which, if you can believe, is Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles.
Oh, that was good.
Never seen it.
Well, Jamie Foxx does win in the leading actor for this.
Oh.
And he's also nominated in the supporting acting for another category this night. So he's one of the few people who has 2 acting nominations for 2 different
Was
movies.
Clint Eastwood nominated for Best Actor?
Yes. And Morgan Freeman is in the Best Supporting Actor. And Hilary
Victorious.
Swank is Best Actress.
Okay.
So Ray had 6 nominations, has 2 wins. And then the final movie is a movie called Sideways, which is actually kind of an anomaly. It's like a comedy, kind of like these 2 men in their 40s having a vacation in California.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's
Okay.
for the gays. I've never seen it, but
Yeah, the Oscars historically really don't honor comedies, really.
No.
And so this made it through, had 5 nominations and only 1 win. Overall, $1 Million Baby, 7 nominations, 4 wins. Takes the win in Best Picture, Best Directing for Clint. Hilary Swank does win Best Actress.
Queen.
And Morgan Freeman also wins in Best Supporting Actor. So Clint Eastwood did not win the acting, but he did win the directing.
Loser.
And then $1 Million Baby was also nominated for Best Writing and Film Editing, but they don't win in either, which I agree with.
Yeah.
A few other notes I had. So Kate Blanchett is the first person to win an Oscar for portraying a previous Oscar winner, Katharine Hepburn.
That's cool.
So yeah, Kate Blanchett was playing Katharine Hepburn in one of these other movies. Probably The Aviator had the Howard Hughes one. And it's fun because we've talked about Katharine Hepburn for reals at a previous Oscar. So
yeah,
Kate gets an Oscar win for portraying a previous Oscar winner. And at 74 years old, Clint Eastwood is the oldest person to win Best Director.
still?
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know either.
Possibly at that
I had
time.
that written down too.
But a little bit about Clint Eastwood, and this is interesting because Carly normally goes over information about our leading actors, and I normally do a spotlight on the director, but in this case, he's both a director and actor. But so we'll see if we have any crossover here. But Clint Eastwood is still alive. He is 95 years old, and Eddie's ready to mingle. I did write down Hot Son Scott, but I already gave him a shout out. Clint Eastwood refuses to confirm the number of children he has. There's like 8 confirmed so far.
Scandalous.
Don't know what that's about. But Clint Eastwood has a prolific film career, starring in a lot of westerns and cop movies. He's a symbol of masculinity. So this is actually his second Best Picture to win. He also directed Unforgiven, which won the day before Carly Corio was born, 1993.
I would like to say I was born early on the 30th, so my mom always talks about she was in labor with me watching the Unforgiven one.
Wow. I did write down here because I already mentioned it, but Clint Eastwood, his directing style, he's very fond of low-key lighting.
Oh my gosh, with the lighting.
There heavy shadows on all their faces at all times.
Meanwhile, if you have ever gone to Bradley's house, he has no lights on.
Yeah, he's one lamp on.
Yeah, he has a lamp on.
Anyways, other movies that Clint Eastwood has directed that I can recall: Mystic River, Gran Torino, American Sniper, Sully, The Mole, and recently Juror Number 2. And just some other movies that were winning awards this night. We got Shrek 2, is here at this Oscars.
The second best Shrek.
The Incredibles wins Best Animated
Oh,
Feature.
love Incredibles.
This is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is this year.
Wow.
And
arguably the best one, the best book.
Spider-Man 2 is here. The Polar Express.
Spider-Man 2?
Hotel Rwanda.
Oh.
Ooh.
Wow.
And Eternal Sunshine and Spotless Mind, which was in that top 10 in that New York Times.
Yeah, it was a
as
good
well.
movie.
But not even nominated for Best Picture.
So the Oscar picked this one, but the New York Times picked that one.
Oscar picked
Correct.
this one.
That's it's interesting.
Yeah.
Carly, I'm curious what came up in your research about Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. So another thing that was cool is he directed, co-produced, starred in, and scored this movie. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Yeah, he did it.
Wow.
It was
Thanks,
all Clint. So yeah, Clint Eastwood has 4 Academy Awards total, which is cool. Another thing, and another reason why the shot with the little girl and the dog was cool is the little girl is his daughter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which
Nepo baby.
Nepo baby.
So one of the 8 confirmed children of
Yes.
Clint Eastwood.
And as I was reading, because you told me to look into his children, about his children.
Yeah.
And I more looked into like his partners, and basically his whole like dating history. He won't confirm or deny any relationships with anyone. Like he was in a very open marriage, and I think a lot of stuff happened within that time. And I think part of that is like an open marriage is I've never been in one, but I think part of that is like you don't really share what happens. You know, it's open, but you don't always share with your partner. So
it's not open in that way.
Yeah, he might have just respected his partner and enough to not tell the public things that he wouldn't tell her. And so yeah, maybe that's why he won't confirm a lot of his
children
paternity.
Yeah. Any one of us could be an Eastwood.
Really.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not either. I look a lot like my parents.
Maybe Brad.
Maybe me.
You look
Dad?
Dad? None of our voices are low enough to be Clint Eastwood's spawn.
Where's brother?
He could be my daddy.
Could be.
I did have he was the oldest Best Director winner. That's pretty cool. What do you think is his top grossing film?
Slumdog Millionaire.
That wasn't.
You can't just make up films he's directed.
Oh, sorry.
Was it one of the ones I read out?
Yeah, his top 3, you read all 3 of them.
I'm going to say Gran Torino.
No, that was number 2.
Mr. Gripper.
No, that was not in the top 3. I will say this movie.
Solid.
This movie is 1 or 3.
So
Million Dollar Baby
a part
is
of
either
this.
the first one or the third one.
I'm going to go with $1 Million Baby then.
It's third place. So his first place almost doubled Gran Torino. It was a big film
Okay, what was number 1?
based on a book, American Sniper.
Wow.
That was his top grossing film.
That's Bradley Cooper, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really it. It does say he was in an interview, said he purposefully left open what exactly happened with him and his daughter because he wanted that to be open to interpretation. So that was kind of something where I did Google after. I'm like, wait, so what happened with his daughter? And there were a lot of fan theories, but none of them confirmed, and that explains that. Moving on to Hilary Swank, Mother Kushla.
Mother Kushla.
Won Best Actress for this film. It was her second Best Actress Oscar win.
Oh.
The first one was for a movie we talked about her being in,
Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry, in 2000.
Yep.
So, good couple of years for Hilary Swank. For this film, she gained 19 pounds of muscle,
Wow.
which was like 10%, like 20% of her body weight. It's amazing. But, I mean, yeah, she said she was like 110 pounds, and then she gained 20 pounds.
And I just read that her trainer throughout this movie, were you
Yeah.
about to say this?
Yeah, but who is it? Yeah.
Was the bear, the blue bear woman.
Blue Bear.
The woman who played the blue bear was her actual trainer.
Yep. Her trainer and boxing coach was that lady. Which would have been, I think, kind of cool to have trained someone and worked so much with her and then get to act with her.
And
you know?
murder her, basically.
And be murdered by your coach. Amazing. So she went into detail about her regime. She trained for 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. She had to eat and drink 210 grams of protein a day. Wow. She was eating so much protein that she had to wake up in the middle of the night to eat more because her body couldn't go more than 5 hours without protein.
Oh my God.
She had to drink...
Same.
Us with Oreos.
Yeah, she had to eat a protein shake in the middle of the night or her body would shake, she
Could
said.
you imagine anything worse? Like,
No.
oh.
I mean, yeah. But no.
Oh, okay.
You can always imagine something worse.
Yeah. $1 Million Baby is her top grossing film, so it's the biggest film she's been in.
Cool.
And then Morgan Freeman, we're all familiar with him. He did win Best Supporting Actor for this film. He has been nominated 5 times for an Oscar.
I feel like he's one where you could, like, he could be a tree in the background and people would be
Yes.
like, he was incredible. in
Right.
that.
He could be Treebeard.
Well, and I wanted to find, I looked up, like, how many films that he's in that have been nominated for Best Picture, but I couldn't find that. So maybe it was just this one.
Okay.
That one where he's God.
Yeah,
Is that
honestly.
Steve Carell.
Okay, wait.
Almighty or
Bruce Almighty.
I was going to ask you guys, when you hear Morgan Freeman, what's the first role you think of?
March of the Penguin.
The Dark Knight.
Okay, so just his voice.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight. Okay, that was a big one. I think it was his highest grossing film, too.
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises. But mine is Bruce Almighty. That's the first thing I think of him. Yeah.
3 different interpretations.
Very different
2
vibes.
cool movies and whatever Eddie just said.
So yeah, he's been nominated for 5 Oscars, and this is his only win.
Oh, wow.
And it's his second film with Clint Eastwood. The first one he did that was directed by Clint Eastwood was Unforgiven in 1992.
Okay. We'll see him
So
again.
yeah, so that's really it. The only other weird thing I found about this movie is there's no opening credits, and people are just blown away by that. Love, big fan.
Yeah.
We don't need to see the names at the beginning and end of a movie.
No, we get it.
Especially because a lot of the movies we've watched have had 6-minute long opening credits with no acting in the background. It's just opening credits.
Just credits.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, really good movie. Big fan.
Yeah.
Glad we watched this one right now.
Glad we did it. Eddie, thank you so much for being here, for being our first guest.
Being our first fop.
Thank you for having me. I'll always be your fop.
Eddie, will you come back again someday?
Yes, I would love to come back for my favorite movie ever,
March of the Penguins.
Bridesmaids.
Famously not a Best Picture winner.
Oh, okay.
Should have been. Snubbed.
All right, well, we are getting ready to reveal our next movie. Next time, we'll be back to business as usual, just Carly and I.
Ugh.
Boo!
So yeah, first we just want to go ahead and plug since it's officially out there now. So we do have an Instagram, the BetterHalf_pod, and so feel free to go over there and give us a follow. And yeah, if you have a moment or two to leave us a rating or review wherever you listen to this podcast, let us know what you think and what you like or don't like, and we appreciate all feedback as a gift. So, but yeah, let's reveal. Drum roll.
It is
The Apartment.
from 1960.
1960. A very, mysterious title.
Yeah, what is that about?
It's just about, renters.
I bet it's something where people live.
Like the prequel to Rent?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. So we're excited to find out what exactly is this movie about, The Apartment. So check in with us, and thank you so much for listening. Carly, love you. Eddie, love you.
Love you. Bye.
I love you.